Just ripping on this thing. And this is some gnarly terrain. This beast is moving. Wow. RC drivers, I don't think I've ever been this excited about a Team Corrali release before, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Team Corrali fan, a longtime fan, but check out this truck next to me. It's the new Shiroi. It's an XL 6S powered short course truck, and wait till you see under the hood. Lots of cool features, but the body itself too is absolutely awesome. Short course style with a full interior. We got roof skids, window net, and number plates on the side, just amping up the look of this awesome truck. I'm sure it's gonna be a blast on the track and when you're out bashing, which is what we're gonna do right after I tell you everything you need to know about it. So the Shiroi is a 1/8 scale off-road short course ready to run. Comes out of the box just like this. Love the way it looks. Available in 3 different color schemes. And just look at this body, guys. Isn't this a cool shape? Like that the windows are cut out so you can see the interior. It is molded Lexan. The driver's heads are separate. Lots of decal work on the inside. Body clips are tethered on there. Does have roof skids. That's going to be pretty important because this thing does go over 60 miles an hour. So I'm sure it's going to see some flips. I like the number plates on the back and even the detail in the bed. The black is a matte and it's got some decals for the vents and everything. Check out those big bumpers on this. These are massive. Those are definitely going to take some hits. A little skid in the front. Definitely like the styling of the body. The only thing I thought that maybe they should have done was increase the bracing out to the body post, so there is some plastic underneath because they've got that center structure that goes up to where the drivers are basically, so it's got some impact protection up top here, but nothing around the body post area. And considering how built up this chassis is that I'm about to show you, I'm surprised that they didn't do that. And here's a look at the Shiroi with the body off. Pretty impressive, right? We're gonna start off by talking about the aluminum plate chassis, 3 millimeters thick, anodized black, and I like the little extra details Corrali throws in here with the etching on the bottom. Engineered to be the fastest. All those screws are countersunk. You got the beveled edges on the side, and then we've got those massive skids that Corrali is known for in the front and rear. That's just set up for bashing. Back on top here, here's that inner structure that meets up with the center section of the body for that crash protection, and then look at all of the bracing through the center. So they've got some new bracing going on here from what I could tell. Look at all of that composite just bulking up the front and rear sections. They've got the composite bracing going down to the chassis, and then these tubes here with some more etching on them. Really looks solid. That's built up, guys. That is extremely built up. Same battery tray that we've seen before. It allows you to put multiple or different size battery packs in it, and it's got the Velcro straps to cinch down those batteries. Radio box to secure the receiver, and a little gear protection over here. Now, the one thing I noticed is the more Corrali builds up their cars to be strong, the more work it's going to be for you to do some maintenance if something were to happen to it. You know what? I'd rather just then bulk it up than worry about maintenance later on down the road, so I don't have to do any parts replacement. But just wanted to point that out. If you're going to work on this car, I would suggest getting an electric driver and some hex bits. Body posts look nice and strong. Again, these bumpers, absolutely massive. And now let's start talking about the suspension. Just a look at the Corrali suspension setup here is impressive. We've got 4 millimeter thick aluminum shock towers. Again, Team Corrali etching on it. It's a couple of shock locations if you want to alter the shock position for handling. Check out the large bore shock, 16 millimeter aluminum bodies, preload collars, aluminum caps with protectors on the caps, tall shock perches down on the bottom, just what you want to see out of a shock. The only thing missing is the rubber boots for shock protector or shock shaft protection. They've got some firm springs on this. It feels like it's set up for off-road track driving. Then look at the HD arms. These are actually really cool. They've got the aluminum red caps here, so the pillow balls don't pull through. And then inboard, they've got caps where the pins go through just so the pins don't rip out of this. Then they've got aluminum hinge pin blocks, front, center, rear, with the pill inserts in them. This is stuff that you see on race cars, and it's here on this basher. So it's a pivot ball style suspension setup. So you got these massive steering knuckles on the outside. Just love how everything is built up on this. Even the tabs for the steering links, those are aluminum. So this is a solid suspension setup. I've seen them rework their suspension over time, and they just keep getting it better and better and better. In the rear, similar stuff. So we've got the long travel shocks, big bore, the HD arms with aluminum pivot blocks and caps. They just have the really stout looking outer hubs for the axles to sit in. The links are fixed with these composite links. At least we've got metal pivot balls, and if you do want to go and adjust your suspension, they do have optional turnbuckles that are available for it. Short course style wheels and tires. It's got a multi-terrain lug on it, and the compound is pretty soft, so I think it's going to give us plenty of traction. The medium insert actually feels like a urethane insert, but the short course style wheel has a smaller outside face, larger inside diameter, so it's got plenty of clearance. Good looking tire, and it uses a 17mm hex. The steering setup, your usual A-scale style dual bell crank with a servo saver built in. They've got an aluminum drag link with a number of Ackerman positions, and then an adjustable turnbuckle over to the included aluminum servo horn. Now, of course, the driveline setup pulled from their other A-scale vehicles. There's a differential in the front, center, and rear. The front has the composite diff cups, but the ring and pinion, those are machined for internal spider gears, and then the 2 sun gears inside the diff. They are filled with oil from the factory, and it feels like they have an off-road setup in here with the medium oil, a heavy oil, and then a light oil in the rear, which could get a little wild when we're running a 6S battery pack. We'll see how it handles. Like that they have hardened spring steel out drives for all of the differentials, and then the center differential actually has the aluminum case on it. That's the differential that tends to heat up because it's doing a lot of work, and so they've got the aluminum case on it. Mine is leaking a little bit of oil. I'm not sure if that's just left over from building, so I'm definitely gonna let you guys know if I see any more oil come out of that. Sometimes when they throw them together, there's a little oil on the outside, and when it just sits there, it leaks down onto the chassis. So we'll see how that goes, but definitely like the drivetrain setup on the CVs in the front, and they have the rings to capture the pins so those don't pop out. They got rid of those circlips or those steel caps around the outside. Nice to see that they gave us that upgrade on this. Dog bones in the rear, dog bones in the center, but differentials feel well built from the factory. Ball bearings throughout. Do like that they gave us a full aluminum mount for the motor and the center diff. It just keys everything together. And it being ready to run means the electronics are installed, so let's go over those. It's got a very prop servo in there, 25 kg, high voltage digital servo, metal gears. So that sounds like it's got to have plenty of steering power. Receiver mounted inside there. Well, it's not actually mounted inside the receiver box. It's just loosely placed in there. I'd suggest putting a little bit of 2-side tape under it just to secure it down. But anyway, it is a multi-channel receiver in case you want to throw some LED lights into this. Over here is the Torox 150 speed controller. So this is a programmable speed controller, 6S capable. You can run 4S if you want to power it down a little bit. Like that they've secured this down to a mounting plate. Even the switch is secured down. Has XT90 plugs on it, so you could run like a 4S pack or 2 3S packs or one big 6S pack in it. Does have a high voltage BEC to power that servo. And then over here is the Curon 825 motor, 2050 kV, and they don't have a cooling fan on it. With the big body on this thing kind of encapsulated. Kind of wish they did that, but you can go and pick one up aftermarket, obviously. Geared for bashing right out of the box, but they do include a high-speed pin gear in the kit. Let me show you what else comes in the box. Comes with the C2R radio system, 2.4 gig. It's got a full plastic handle here, but actually does feel pretty comfortable. At least we've got a foam wheel, and then your trims are located under this panel here. They give you a tether for that, although I don't think there's any place to mount it. Let's see, let's get this out. Well, maybe you could clip in there or something like that. Nonetheless, they give you this, that's pretty cool. There's your antenna that you'll have to throw in, and that speed pinion gear, and then the instruction manuals. And I want to give Team Corrali props for the instruction manuals. They really go into detail for servicing this car and even setup. Here, let me show you. So if you want to go and change up your springs, they tell you what the different spring rates will do. They tell you what the different shock oils will do if you swap it out. They give you suggestions for off-road, factory, track use, and then even the same for the differentials. Just props to Corrali for that. So how big is the Shiroi in comparison to some of the other off-road trucks that are out there? Well, it's about the same size as a Mojave 4S and a little bit smaller than a UDR and a Mojave 6S, which are all desert trucks. And how much does it cost? Well, unfortunately, I wasn't given that information at the time I'm videoing this, so I'll put it down in the video description, and that's where you could also find links for the truck. Okay guys, I'm at Speedrun Road. We're gonna start off with a speed test. Stock out of the box. I got a 6S battery in there, and let's get this thing fired up. All right, road looks clear. Here we go. Oh boy. I can tell it's got some power, and it's got soft suspension. That's always a handful to drive. Here we go. Whoa, getting a little sideways. It was definitely drifting. That's a handful, guys. And this is just a stock out of the box gear with a 6S pack, SMC pack. Ooh, heart's pumping on that one. 55. You know what? I'm just gonna go with 55. I'm sure it's gonna go the faster speed with the bigger pinion gear in there. Wow. Here we are, RC drivers, the sand pit. Not exactly the spot I wanted to run this thing. The A-scale track at RC Madness is torn up. It's getting rebuilt. And then I went to the BMX track, and that's getting groomed for a weekend race. I got to get this thing dirty. I just spent 2 hours on the highway trying to drive it. I'm definitely going to get a run in. Let's do this. Got to get started with this whoop section here. Oh, get some air right off the bat. Nice. Spin it around. Plenty of steering now that I got it dialed up. That's awesome. Just hearing the power unload. Watching that suspension drop out. Go through again. A lot of dust. Oh, man. It's handling it. Yeah, this is definitely set up for some off-road action right out of the box. Speed testing. I think you're going to have to do a little suspension work, but who buys this to speed test it anyway, right? Yeah. Oh, man. That's awesome. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Look at this drop down turn. I definitely got to rip it through this. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't turn enough. Big crash. The first big crash for the truck. Well, I guess that was one way to get it down the hill. But now I could really open it up in this rough stuff here. So you can see that suspension work. I mean, this is really rough, guys. Look at that thing handle. That thing is a monster. Oh, this is just a beast on 6S. Someone made a jump here. Let's hit it. Yeah. It didn't reverse. Whoa, that thing jumps good, guys. Wow. Definitely better hitting it this side, yeah. Oh, plenty of brake to correct it. Pure excitement out of this one. I was right. I was hoping for this. That was awesome. Hit the jump wrong, like whipped it. Here we go, another one. Oh, big endo. Just ripping on this thing. Oh, wow. Wow, Corrali. It's the magic combination of parts, all their stuff. Want to see what 55 mile an hour plus looks like on dirt, guys? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, man. All right, I got to spin it around, send it back so you guys can see this again. And this is some gnarly terrain. This beast is moving. Wow. Absolutely wow, guys. Seriously cool. I mean, look at that. I'm sorry, but that's awesome. Watch this take off. Yeah. Little sand in the wheels, I think. Little uphill climb. How awesome does that look? Killer truck rally. I mean, I know this isn't the prime spot for it, but for those of us just bashing around, yeah, this thing is sick. This is the little ridge I was looking for so I could give you guys some air time. And into the bushes. We got some sand in the tires now. Kind of to be expected in a spot like this. So I was hoping to bring it to the track at RC Madness, but yeah, that is awesome. This thing sends through the air nicely. I mean, guys, that's 6S. It keeps on landing on all four wheels every time I jump it. Awesome throttle control. I'm dying from all this dust. And I keep getting pricked with these little prickly ball things. It hurts. Just went through the 6S pack and it didn't thermal on me. Motor is pretty hot. Can't touch that. Speed controller's okay, actually. But yeah, I would say definitely get a cooling fan for the motor just to extend its life. But it ran for a full 6S pack without thermaling. Let's get back at it. 4S pack this time. I'm not even going to do a cool down. Let's just see how it goes. So let me show you an off-road speed pass on 4S. Still fast. With all the sand in the tires and a hot motor, this thing is still ripping. That's good stuff, guys. That is good stuff. Another berm, gotta rip through it. Oh, I love the speed coming out of that. One more whoop section here. Into the weeds. Spin it back around and whoop. Yeah, there we go. It's almost like a boat porpoising, but man, it's just pure power getting laid down by this Corrali. There we go. Look at that. It handles so good, guys. I mean, seriously. You just shouldn't be sleeping on Corrali anymore. This is a killer truck. And short course, it just needs to come back, right? Let me know what you think in the video description below. Short course should come back. And with that, let's head back to the workshop. Come here, buddy. So I did mention before I was going to check that center diff to see if it was leaking anymore after the run, and it's not. That oil in the chassis was just residual. Took a look over the truck itself, pretty good shape so far. It does only have 2 battery packs through it. That was just a first run on this, but yeah, this thing was a blast to drive. It did fill up the tires with sand. They vented the wheels, so that sand was just getting into those wheels, and it actually completely filled all 4 tires there full of sand. So that whirring noise that you hear in the video during the action portion, that's just those tires full of sand kind of just wanting to expand and making that odd noise. So that's what that was. But man, this thing, absolute blast to drive. I think it jumps awesome. I think it handles really well, especially on 6S. And you know, things get wild on 6S when you've got a long wheelbase, a narrow width to it. But wow, this thing handled really well. Has plenty of steering. You do have to turn up the dual rate on the radio system. This truck rotates well. I mean, I was just in a bash setting, but man, loved every element of it. Once again, I would just go get a heat sink and fan for the motor just to cool that down, especially if you're running on 6S. But I think Corrali just nailed it with this one. I had the old Team Associated SC8, and I think this handles a lot better than that. I really enjoyed this drive, guys. And Corrali's just stepping things up from their design all the way to their parts support. They've got great parts support now, and if you need parts here in the US, you could either get it through their website or you can get it through Hobby Recreation Products, who is the distributor of Team Corrali. That's where you can pick this up. And if you gotta have one of these, I'll have links for it in the video description below.